So, who is, we can't give the crown to any sons. The next person to give it to, I guess, is Macbeth. Here you go, Macbeth, you're king. You are king. And who doesn't attend his crowning ceremony? Michael. Macduff. Act II. Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand, come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal visions? A dagger of the mind, a false creation, proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? There's no such thing. Is it the bloody business which informs me thus to mine eyes? With moves like a ghost, thou shalt and firm set earth, hear not my steps, which now suits with it, while I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deeds to cold breath give. Bell rings. I go and it is done. The bell invites me. What did you have for that scene? You read this simplified, a little bit more modern translation of that. What do you think he was talking about? What was he saying? First of all, let me give you a hint. The theme that goes with that speech is illusion versus reality. What does that mean? That means sometimes what appears one way is really something completely different. Sometimes when you're seeing things, you can't decide if it's really there or not. When you meet people or you see people, they act one way, but behind closed doors, they're different. What do you have? What do you think? What did you find for this one? Those are hard. I mean, these questions right here, they're harder. Will, what'd you have? Come on.
Well, I didn't really talk about illusion versus reality.
That's okay. I mean, what did you find?
I said it sort of fits in self-corruption. Like the witches made a very apparent way. He sort of took what the witches said to heart, and it drove him crazy.
Excellent. I like that. Make sure you also put the illusion versus reality.
Yeah.
No, you're not. You're right. You're right. Evan, do it.
I have visions and hallucinations caused by fear.
Whoa! Sit down. Are you kidding me? Absolutely. Perhaps these visions are caused because of guilt. And that's another theme. Guilt can destroy a person. That's another powerful theme. And we're going to see it in Hamlet as well. Guilt can destroy a person. Illusion versus reality. How is killing Duncan different from McDonald? Well, that's pretty obvious. McDonald was a traitor, Duncan's his friend. But now that he's going through with this, what does this show about Macbeth? What can we say about his character now? Remember, in Act 1, we're like, hey, he's a noble guy. He's honorable and brave and loyal. Now that we see this, what can we tell about our friend Macbeth? Nick, what do you think? You like this kind of stuff?
Well, at
think maybe it could mean that Macbeth isn't the sort of like not chivalrous, but like high quality person that he was before the fairies told him about this, like, what do I call it?
About this this prediction is for the future, right?
Yeah.
Look, he's obviously underneath that loyalty. There's a person there who has no problem killing someone. Now he feels guilt about it. He's going crazy, and that guilt is a conflict with his desire for power and being manipulated. Is he easily manipulated? Like PB&J, if you go to Mason and say, hey man, I want you to beat up Calvin, he's not going to do that, right? But imagine if you could talk him into that, right? I mean, we don't want that to happen.
Sure.
And I'd be like, Mason, what's the matter with you? How can you be manipulated so easily into doing that? She manipulated him into killing someone. It's crazy. What images of blood is in this section, and what is significant about blood and water in scene 2, line 57? This was hard. I want you to try first. All right? If you're not quite on, that's okay, because, these questions are tough. Go ahead.
When we're talking about like how can we wash his hands in the ocean, like instead of like the ancient water in the ocean being more than what his hands.
Nice. In fact, let me read that. Let me read that for you. Please listen while I bring the magic of Macbeth to life. Macbeth says, whence is that knocking? How is it with me? With every noise appalls me. What hands are here? Ha! They pluck out mine eyes. Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand? No, this my hand will rather. The multitudinous seas incarnate, making the green one red. He says, not all of the water in the ocean can wash the blood off of his hands. What does that mean? Calvin, you had it, What was it, Calvin? Go ahead.
That the blood on his hands is like so significant that it all goes on.
The blood is symbolic. Blood is symbolic of guilt. Symbolic of guilt. He has his blood on his hands. I'll never be able to wash this blood off my hands. Meaning, I'll never be able to get over this sense of guilt I have. Look at Lady Macbeth. Oh, we're not done. Lady Macbeth says, my hands are of your color, meaning her hands are red too, but I shame to wear a heart so white. A little water clears us of this deed. How easy it is. So Lady Macbeth says, my hands are of your color, which means, hey, my hands are red too. I'm guilty too. But what does she add to that, though? Look, she says, hey, I shame to wear a heart so white. A little water clears us of this deed. What is she? Michael?
She doesn't feel like as guilty as Macbeth does.
Yeah, first of all, she doesn't feel as guilty as Macbeth. She goes, I'm part of this. a little water will clean my hands. And also, she says, you should be ashamed of yourself of wearing a heart so white, meaning you're acting like a little coward, like a little baby. You're scared. The guy just got done murdering someone that you talked him into, and you're still on his case, right? You're still on his case, right? Not enough. So blood symbolizes guilt. Make sure you have that down there too. Describe the role of nature in this play. How does nature play a factor? One person had it when I was looking over your answers. Tommy, do you know?
Well, there at one point owl killed a falcon. Like that was weird.
What's that?
Like a bird killed another bird.
Yeah. Well, listen, you got it right. There's that section in there where people were talking. Oh, go ahead, Nick.
I mean, it just sort of seems symbolic of what's going on.
What's that?
It seems symbolic of what's going on.
Yes.
Because like
Nature reflects what's going on in their world. You have this craziness, the king being murdered. And while this deed is happening, all of a sudden the weather gets crazy. Animals are killing each other. There's storms. Nature reflects what's going on in the play. And you know what? Shakespeare does that in a lot of them too. We'll find out. Let's not do this one. Let's skip that one. But this one's kind of important. What are his tragic flaws? What can we see about his personality? What can we see about his personality it doesn't seem like he can control? It's a decision. What is it? His tragic flaw. Brandon?
I wouldn't say he's easily manipulated, but he's able to be manipulated.
Yes, he is able to be manipulated. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. What else? Ethan, what else?
He's kind of remorseful for
All right, he's definitely feeling guilt. I like that. I like that.
I said all he cares about is the title of being king, not really the moral values.
He is, we're starting to see his true colors a little bit. He is a guy who's obsessed with power. And not really how you go about getting it, just as long as you have it. So we see this greed, this desire for power. You can be greedy for power just like money. And we also see this ability to be manipulated. Look at Lady Macbeth, right? She talked him right into it. All right. Make sure you tuck those notes away.